everybody. It says we're live, so I'm going to assume that we are. So we're going to uh, talk about Rust because I am learning Rust right now. Um, I've been working on this, and I'm going to try and explain everything that's going on within this file. I'm actually going to pull up kwrite right now. Uh, so this is something that's very similar to C and like C-like languages. Uh, But basically, right now, I'm doing literal operators and operations, because they're going to say add two numbers together, 1 plus 2, uh, literal unsigned 32 plus 2, and then literal unsigned 32 minus 2. I believe that's what LU32, and I think that's what that means. Um, so then it will, print the answer, and now we're getting to the short circuiting of Boolean logic. I'm pretty sure I spelled that wrong. But let me explain what this means. As you can see, I have kind of explanations and some examples. So the first example that we're going to write is the double ampersand, which checks to see if both conditions are true. So this will not run. The example I have, I'm actually going to make sure you guys can read it. I'm going to try zooming in here really quick. So we're going to do Control Plus. I'm pretty sure you guys can read it a little better now, where it says if num1 is equal to 51 and num2 is equal to 77. Well, since we don't know what num1 and num2 are, they're automatically not going to run. But let's say hypothetically we have a variable called num1 and we also have another variable called num2, and we set them to, let's say, 50 and 102. I had to think for a minute. Those variables would equal those two variable names if they're spelled exactly right or exactly the way that we have them. In this language, syntax does matter. And I'm saying that because in C Sharp, Java, and other C like languages, the case of how things are typed does matter. And if you guys can see, like down and on, like where you see the fave color, I use camel case. So, anyway, back to what we were saying. So if we have it set to anything other than what is specified in the if statement, it will not run unless we have an else statement. And I will get to that probably in a future thing. This is me learning Rust live. So this is me just writing the code live. Um, I literally had to have. I started doing this the other day, and today I was just like, if I'm going to do this live, I'm going to kind of try and explain everything that is explained here. So they have the and, the double bar, the vertical bar, the double vertical bar. I'm going to refer to it as the double bar now, which means or. It runs if only one is correct. They don't. Both of them don't have to be, or is I should change this from correct to true. True. So the double bar will run if only one is true. They can both be true, but the double bar is an or. So if the favorite color is equal to blue or equal to red, which for people that say, well, why does it say fave color equal is double equal sign to blue, or the double bar fave color equal to red? So you can't just go fave color equal blue comma red. You have to kind of because it's two separate statements. It's checking for either one. Same with up here. You can't just say if num1 is equal to 51 comma 77. I don't know if that would work with arrays. I've never tried it, and I don't feel like trying it because arrays can be a pain to work with when you get into multi-dimensional arrays. Anything more than 2. I'm going to specify anything more than 2 is a little overkill, in my opinion. It does have its uses, but it can be a pain to work with. Then the third one that I see in my list is the bang operator, which means I can actually get rid of this, because their example has this. If variable name is not whatever you're not looking for, or is not the opposite. Fuck. How do I want to explain this? So the bang is basically saying this is not. In this case, it would be if B is true, what it's saying is it is not true. And I'm actually going to make sure I have the syntax right by looking at the rustlang.org documents. Literals and operators, which it is right. So what it's saying is B is not equal to true. Think of it like a light switch in this example. A light switch can be one of two things. It can be on or it can be off. So you can say if light switch, I guess you could do like a property in terms of programming. We could do a property saying if light switch dot state equals on, turn on the light. Whereas you could say else if light switch dot state not equal to on. That would say that is basically saying light switch dot state equals off, that particular property. I don't know if there are properties in Rust. I don't even know if there are classes in Rust, but we are going to learn this all together. I'm going to finish writing up the class using the basic. Let me do this so I can actually read what they have. Because I'm also getting used to everything. And they do say type is important. So you can't just, it's not like Python where you can have like nothing as a variable type. Or not Python, JavaScript. Sorry, wrong language. Sorry, I'm just tired. I'm going to have a little bit of caffeine if that's okay. I just had supper not too long ago, so. Please don't explode. Got myself the Cherry Mountain Dew. JavaScript only has two ways to define a variable. Let and var. Let is from what I remember, let is the standard. And people say, well, what do you mean? I haven't liked writing in JavaScript. Even though if you're going to write a web application, you do need to know JavaScript in order to write a backend for the client. And again, I am learning Rust for the first time. True and false is, and that's the thing. That's something I don't understand. Like, if somebody that knows Rust better than I do can explain this, why is there curly braces at the end of that statement? That's something I don't understand at all. And hold on. Because I don't know if I've seen that. I've never done anything like that in other languages. With C++, I could understand something like that in C++, considering that I'm going to show you a little bit about the C++ syntax. C++ syntax actually starts out like this. So I'm going to do this. So it would be std double colon C. So we're going to do C out first. Hello world. Std. Actually, we're going to create a string. Call it username equal to std double colon cin. Actually, no, I did that wrong. So that's actually going to be on a separate line. You would do this. Double colon cin user name. It's been a while since I've written C++. So yeah, like you would do that for just input and output. C out, one way to remember it, C out, the angle brackets are pointing out. C in, the angle brackets are pointing in. Um, I don't know if I've seen that in other languages where it's like you end a line of output with those angle brackets, or not the angle brackets, the curly braces. And people say, well, I'm pretty sure people will comment on this and be like, well, you've never used such and such language. I've used Java, C++, C Sharp. Uh, I've used a bunch of front end languages, PHP. Well, I've used a bunch. PHP, Angular. I've been trying to learn React. ASP I count as a front end language. Um, so yeah, it's like I've never seen that curly braces other than in like function definition, or creating a function kind of like this, or like if statements, switch statements, while loops, do while loops, uh, try catch blocks, all that. Like where it is needed. I have not seen those outside of those instances of the function declaration. God, I'm terrible at explaining things. Uh, but yeah, like most of the time that I've seen those are in the instance of try catch blocks, if statements, while loops, whether it's do while, or while loops, for loops. Sorry, I'm just trying to think of everything. And here's the thing, for people that for people that want to know the credibility that I have been working on like various programs. I have the GitHub repo that you guys can see, a bunch of public repositories. Not everything I do is open to the public. Um, I also graduated in 2020 with a degree in computer programming, where again we learned C++, Java, JavaScript. We learned a bunch. So a lot of this definitely seems very, very odd, and part of me is saying that this, unless this is concatenation, which I think it might be, I'm not sure, because they don't really explain it. Oh, that's why. Hold on. Let me end that line right there. So yeah, the print line, for people that are wondering, the print line functions a lot like I believe it's system.out.println in Java, and the console.writeLine in C Sharp. It's more similar to Java because of the function, or in this case macro name, because if you notice, the print line has to have that exclamation point in order for it to function properly. If it does not have that exclamation point, when you try to compile the code and build the file or the project, depending on what you're doing. I don't know how Rust projects work necessarily. Um, I'm doing individual files. It will say, "Hey, there's a missing exclamation point. This macro was expected here." Um, Again, as you can see from my comments, I'm also going to go over how to do comments here. You can see single line comments are 2 forward slashes, and the multi-line comments are the slash asterisk to start one, and then the asterisk slash to close that off. Which, again, I showcase the various the various differences between this and C++, because I don't feel like writing a C# example uh, against this, because C#, you'd have all you're using, you'd have the class name, or depending on the application, it would be a partial class, because when working with Win32 forms or .NET forms, it is not a class; it is a partial class. The I had to. I showed someone what I was working on, and they had a couple questions about how the UI works, like because they saw a reference. The reference in C sharp. I know I'm kind of going off base here, but this is a story that you know I like to talk about, or like I enjoy because um, I enjoy talking about code. I enjoy writing code. Um, so I was talking to someone about how the code works or how the front end works. And I'm going to get on this tangent and then I'll go back to what we were doing. So in C sharp forms, uh, there is a reference. Like if you have a UI element, and you add an event, so let's say we have a button called btn submit. Double click that, generate the event, and it will say one reference. That reference points to the specific UI element. Um, and this, I've never really used Rust before, so I don't know if creating graphical applications is actually a what's the word? Is actually a possibility. Sorry, I'm kind of just tired. So the next thing we need to do is go back to the Rust documentation and go back to kwrite and do another print ln, add the exclamation point, and then true or false is true or false. And like I said, like if you actually go look at this documentation, it will tell you exactly how this code works. Oh, it would have gotten mad at me and said or does not exist in this context. Or it would have said unrecognized keyword. And then we have another print ln that says not. Oh, yeah, if you get, okay, not true is and then and then and so that's hold on, I gotta fix that. So that is that, and I'm actually going to save this because I haven't saved in a while. Um, so yeah, this is going through the short circuit operators or the short circuit logic for booleans. And again, the short circuiting can be used on more than just booleans. It can be used on various data types. I don't know if they'll show an example of that, but an example would be like if you're looking for a specific first and last name or a specific set of numbers or something like that. Because I have had to do that where, let's say I'm doing a number guessing game, which I have done. I would say if guess num1 is equal to uh, let's say num2 guess 1 and num2 guess 2 is equal to uh, the same variable for the guess number, the number that the person inputted. So these operators, the short circuiting can be used on more than just booleans. So do keep that in mind as you're writing your code. Sorry. It's Why is it so warm in here? Well, duh, because I'm wearing a sweatshirt. But also, I'm gonna check Discord really quick because somebody. Oh, I I didn't even realize that was there. So we'll probably be coding for another about 15 minutes or so. So we want k write, and then we'll enter. We'll do 2 enters. Actually, I'm going to say, I'm going to put a comment here, call it short circuit code example. And then we will say, they just say bitwise operations, which uses binary code. So I have not, I don't know binary all that well. So then we do the print ln macro, and we say, again, I don't know exactly, like 0011 and 0101 is I miss having like either IntelliSense. I miss having IntelliSense. That's something I enjoy about like writing in C sharp is the IntelliSense. I'm writing in like kwrite, so I'm not using an actual integrated development environment, but 04B. And for people that are wondering what you're seeing, I'm actually going to read off a portion of the Rust by example. Integers can alternately be expressed by using hexadecimal, octal, or binary notation using the prefixes of 0x, 0o, or 0b. I'm just saying that now because good gravy. Alright, 04B, and then we go close off our quotation. Again, I have no clue what this is going to output, like 0B011 U32 and 0B101. See, their code looks nice because it's actually kind of spaced out a little bit. Bu- 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 and So then they do a few different examples of this, and I'm just going to type them out so I have all of them there. Print ln. I wish I knew enough about how functions actually worked in this, because I'm afraid of doing it wrong, because I would literally just say print ln and then the string. I would call this, right. Instead of doing the print ln, I would call the macro, but I don't even know if I could do that feasibly. Is it really the same thing? Zero, oh no, 0011 or 0101 is B, and then I need to do da 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 da, and then I need to do the comma. Oh, I need to close off our quotation. Didn't do the comma. 3, 2. So then, oh, they're not doing any short circuit. But they're doing like, okay, and or. I don't know if I've ever used XOR for anything. So here we need that. And I'm going to space that out a little bit. And then we will type 0B101. Then close that off. And that's good to go. And then print. Actually, I'm going to do this really quick. I'm just going to save, and then I'm going to compile it just to see if it's working so far. Which, by the way, you would run rust c, and I'm going to change the name to, what's the file name? Literals underscore operators. Oh, we got some errors. Not found in this scope. Expected a comma. Okay. Okay. Argument never used. So we got a few errors. We've got not found in the scope error. Aborting due to 3. Yeah, I'm missing a comma, so there is definitely. Okay, so what line was that? 13. So the true or false is missing. Yeah, I figure at least do that because. At least compile it now because then it'll be like, oh, I'd rather catch the errors early and often What are the other... The argument is never used. Expected comma, found keyword true. Cannot find value LU32 in this scope. It's the same. See, that's the thing. I'm like, okay, we're going to try and figure this out. 845, argument never used. Even though, hold on, let me make sure, like, LI32. What the hell is going on? True and false, so we need to go up. New line, I'm assuming. Oh, are you telling me I cannot do it this way? I don't know. Oh, is that a 1? That's a 1. That's fine, it's not working. Never mind. I am big dumb. I am big dumb. I have no idea what I am actually doing. Because I am doing Rust programming. Hooray. For me. Yeah, so if those numbers don't light up, that's a problem. Alright, so then I can go back into the terminal, run the Rust C. Formatting specifier missing. Argument never used. Bro, what the... Oh, what's going on here? Format... I don't think that's an error. The error is... The... Wait! Hold on. Yeah, no. That's what that's doing. Okay. Okay, so that basically says quit looking at the string. Maybe I'll figure it out, because, okay, so the terminal says formatting specifier missing. So I think that is a formatting specifier then. Note, deny arithmetic overflow on by default. Attempted to compute. Oh, I have to switch it around. I have to switch it around. Because it's saying, hey, 1 minus 2 is less than 0. Order of operations, dum-dum. You must not have been paying attention when you were writing this, smarty pants. Okay. Yeah, no, I didn't even think about it. So, okay. We're going to go Control C. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. And we're going to do this. Yeah, no. Order of operations. So, number 1 in programming. If anything is less than 0, it will throw an error. in Rust case, because it's saying deny arithmetic overflow, which is saying if it's less than 0, don't compute it. And since cancel, save, I am really off today. I didn't even realize that I did that. So then we will run lit. Yep. 1 plus 2 equals 3. See, what was happening, and for those that, don't want me to explain this, I'm going to kind of explain it. That arithmetic overflow is saying, since it's on by default, it won't calculate 2 minus, or 1 minus 2, which is negative 3. So if it were the case, and I will experiment with this in C++, it would have said subtract the same two numbers. Since I did 1 plus 2, I did 1 minus 2, which would equal negative 2. Because think about it. 0, 1, or 0, negative 1. 1 minus 2. I don't know why I said negative 3. Holy crap, I am out of it today. But yeah. I know I spelled short-circuiting wrong in the output. So, that's what we did. And I compiled it not knowing that that was on, like a dumb. And you guys can't see the terminal output, but I can. So it's basically saying add the two numbers together, 1 plus 2 equals 3. Then I said subtract the same two numbers, that equals 1, which in retrospect, if we were to have had the arithmetic overflow off, it would actually equal minus 2. But since I switched those two around, it'll work. Again, learning Rust is a lot of fun. Let's keep her going. Yeah, as you guys can see, I actually put the differences between Rust and CPP. So instead of using like println, which again I kind of want to see if I can make a macro, put a macro into a function. Where is my how-to for Rust? We are on the bitwise operators. As soon as people start joining, I will switch the topic. Looks like we got a lot to get through in this chapter. Oh, arrays are a thing? Oh, I can't wait. Okay. Print ln, we need that, we need this, we need this, and we need this, and this. Okay, so then we will say we are on the XOR 0011 XOR 0101 is, and then boom boom, colon 04B, and then we want to get out of that and then go. God, I should just copy this. I know copy pasting is frowned upon. XOR is the caret key. Let's space this out a little bit. And then, of course, we end off with that. And then we go... Oh, they're using different numbers now. Okay, here we go. Oh, print ln, this one. Hold on, let me go 1. Nope, 1 to 5 is then this, that, comma, 1U32. I have it right now, so just is great. I forget what the double angle brackets mean. I don't know. I'm guessing that would be yeah. It's probably a less than bitwise operation. I'm not sure. Print ln 0x80, which I believe is the hexadecimal. 2 is OX, followed by these. Oh, I forgot the quotation marks. That's why this isn't looking right. And it's just :X, comma. Oh wait, gotta get outside of that. Comma 0x8 0 U32. 2. All right. And the comment that is under, like they're saying 1 million written as, and it's just saying use underscores. If you're working with big numbers, use underscores to um, 1 million written as comma 1 underscore 3 zeros underscore another 3 zeros with U32. Okay. That is the end of the file, officially. So let's try and build it, see if we have any errors. So again, you use rustc, and then the file name with the file extension. Oh! Expected function found macro. So the exclamation point is function, not macro. I've been getting it wrong the whole time, because I'm used to functions literally being just print ln, or console.writeLine, or cout, or cin. So, one tiny little mistake. There. Happy now? Save. Compile it. And then we go /, and it works as expected. Which means for my output, I added what the use of the file is, the two numbers together, the two numbers subtracted, the the print line for the short circuiting Boolean logic. True and false is equal to false. So if okay, so I'm going to explain this for the double ampersand. If the condition is not met by either one, or is not met by one of the conditions set in the statement, it will automatically return false. It doesn't matter if one of them is true or none of them is true. For and, I think I explained this earlier, and has to both be true, or one only has to be true. So, I suppose we could now get ready for the podcast. Actually, I'll keep that terminal up in case I decide to write more Rust code later on. Oh, is there anybody on Discord that wants to join in? Alright, so they should be joining in, relatively soon. Which means I need to figure out the whole audio situation. Because for some reason, it loves picking up my microphone. So, I'm going to open up Twitch. I'm going to hit the play button. And I'm going to see if oh boy. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, now I hear it. Hold on. I'm just trying to make sure, like, nothing is looping. There is no audio loopage. So, yeah, with the podcast coming up, it's like we got to make sure everything's set up right because I don't know who's all going to be here tonight. But I do know that yesterday we had some weather rolling through at about like 10 o'clock. Last night I think we got an inch, and like we basically got 1.10, so an inch and a tenth of rain. So if I go to the local National Weather Service office, which I again need to bookmark their website, and I did. Wait, well, why are we in this one? Okay, so tonight is just rain, which far eastern South Dakota and west. So yeah, I just gave away my state, but yeah, so we have. I don't know why they call it hazardous weather. Well, I guess with the heavy rain. So we're gonna look at our forecast for my area. 20% chance of rain, 30% chance of rain tomorrow, 30% chance of rain on Sunday night. Monday 75, Tuesday 84, Wednesday 83. So, yeah, we got, like, if I go to my local CBS affiliate and I go to their weather, I can actually go quickly look at, I don't want current conditions. I want rain in the last 24 hours. Yeah, we did not get the worst of it. That would be about an hour away from here. They got an inch, almost like a little over an inch and a half. Whereas if I go to tomorrow, or go look at the future cast for tomorrow. Yeah, they say tomorrow at 7. So that means I could get woken up by some rumbles of thunder tomorrow morning. Uh, yeah, because that's 7 a.m. They did say mainly after 4 a.m., so we'll do the podcast tonight uninterrupted and ready for just anything in general. Yeah, so right now, it seems like I'm going to be the only one in here at the moment. That could change with people that want to come in. I have a feeling somebody may want to watch this podcast. I will let them know. Going to start the podcast. Podcast in 10 minutes if you'd like to join. I can't spell. I said going instead of join, so right now it does look like it's just gonna be me. I could talk about Rust programming for a while, and I could actually do it. So, for those watching, and I might even record it and put it on my personal channel. Well, I won't record the podcast portion, but yeah. So a lot of the reason you guys can't see the output is I don't ever share my terminal. Um, but yeah, it basically it works as if it was a C application. Um, I do like their error codes E0423. Now it's not like it's not like the fancy MS error codes. It's not R whatever. It's like E for error. I wonder if they have warnings like most languages do. I can actually change this now to podcast. Podcast. Talk shows and podcasts. Um. So yeah. When I saw the compiler error, I'm like, oh, I know what it is. I was like, wait, what? And then I realized, oh, there's no. Like when I saw that first one, I'm like, wait, what? And then I went, oh, that's right. It's got to be the other way around in order for it to work with that arithmetic overflow on. So the functions in Rust work a bit different because the functions in Rust are declared with the function name and then the exclamation point. So that's something I need to get used to. I don't know if anybody's going to join us today. So it might just be me talking about Rust for like 2 hours or an hour and a half or whatever. Because I do not think Murglack is on at the moment. I think he got off. He was streaming God of War earlier. I did catch that. We have about 5 minutes. I don't think anyone's going to join tonight. If not, that is fine. We've had a very productive last few weeks. Last week's episode is not up on Anchor at the time of this stream. However, I do hope to have this episode up fairly soon where I talk about Rust. So, I will be right back. I do need to use the bathroom, so... button, click this button. We're back, I think. Let me click this button and drop it down to a manageable level. And I will start recording here in about 3 or 4 minutes. I got myself a bottle of water because I'm starting to kind of feel like I'm starting to overheat, but I got an itch on my nose. My nose itches and I can't scratch it right now, but dang it. My nose itches. I'm pretty sure, you know. But here's the thing with Rust. From what I'm learning so far about it, it's a decent language. Like, it's got very familiar syntax. From what I can tell, it's a strongly typed language. I'm just kind of not used to how the print line works. The print line reminds me of like the message box dot show, where you would have like your string that you wanted in the message box, so it would be message box dot show the message, comma message box dot icon dot, okay, or no, warning, exclamation, etc. You know, that's what it reminds me of. It's gonna take some getting used to. But yeah, after this we have tuples, and arrays and slices. So, okay. Following struct is for the activity. Okay. I'm just looking ahead here. And I don't like to copy paste code, but I can, like, I'm just reading it. Add the format display trait to the matrix in the struct above. Okay. So this is going to be fun to work with. But anyway, like comparative. Oh, hold on. Let me start the podcast really quick. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Unknown Gaming Podcast, where we talk about anything and everything gaming related. But this week, I also like to just talk about whatever on this podcast. So, I mean, if it's just gonna be me, it's just gonna be me. I don't care. I will do whatever I need to do to get an episode out there. This week, I've been doing a lot of learning about Rust. I found out about the language a few days ago, actually, and I've been starting to write in it to learn because I like to learn. So, ladies and gentlemen, my journey with that so far has been very, very interesting. There are there's a lot of differences, but also some similarities between, I would say, more Rust and Java more than Rust and something like C++, or even, well, I don't know about C because it's written in C. But for those that want to know my background and why I decided this instead of something like, oh, I don't know, God of War, is because I ended up, like, for those that don't know, I am a programming major here at the college in town. I graduated about 2 years ago, um, and I like learning new languages. I like learning new programming languages. Some of them that I have learned in my 2 years out of college would be Apex, and the front end language of Angular. Um, And to be fair, Rust is very, very similar. To me, I get more similarities from Java just by some of the function names. Print, like to print output or print a message to the screen, it's println, which is very similar to system.out.println or println. Um, but it's also very different in the way that it handles something similar to functions. I've actually got the Rust documentation pulled up because there's the Rust by example. Um, the println or their functions to print stuff to the console is it includes an exclamation mark. So I was mistakenly calling it a macro instead of a function because that is a thing with functions in Rust, and I'm getting used to it. But a lot of programming for it's very similar to C-like languages. So, yeah, but I kind of get that Java-like syntax with println. Um, I have not used Rust before this week, so my knowledge of Rust is kind of lacking in that department. But um, I am willing to learn, and something that I needed to get used to was running something called Rust C, which is the Rust compiler. Um, it's kind of like running GPP or G plus no, not GPP, G plus plus for C plus plus projects. However, I could just do G plus plus in VS Code. Rust C, I may not be so lucky. Um, I prefer writing in console instead of the visual, or not the console, but KWrite, I think is what it's called, for Q4OS instead of VS Code. Um, and truth be told, like it hasn't gotten like super difficult. There are some things that I need to get used to, like actually including a definition for the look. I closed down my no, I still have the console up. So, for example, where is it? For example, it says formatting specifier missing. The curly brackets, I did not know this, but it will say formatting specifier missing, which is the curly braces followed by colon. I think one of them is 04B. I can actually look since I still have KWrite open. Colon 04B is a format specification that you can use. Um, and a lot of it is like me trying to get used to everything. So, there is something else that I'm going to note because my brain did 1 minus 2 for the math. Um, there is a deny arithmetic overflow that is turned on by default, which will mean if it's less than 0, it won't, it'll throw an error. Um, and I have yet to, test if it's like that in C++, or if it will, you know, not, or if it will, like, print out the result, and I could actually do that. Let me try that really quick. Where is my folders? Desktop, project, C++. I'm going to. Why is that in C++? I want to create a new folder, please. Control N. Maybe that'll work. Nope, that didn't work. Let me go into KWrite then. New. Save as. Go into desktop. Go into project. Go into C++. Click this new folder. C++ math arithmetic underscore test. Okay. We're going to call it math test. Oh, shit. I forgot to add C++. Oh, fun me. Save as .cpp. Alright. So we're going to run a little bit of a programming language. Not a drag race, but we're going to run a test here. We're going to then switch our window capture. We are going to then include, I always do IOStream. I will include math.h just in case we need to. I think it's math.h. And because I am not actually using this, using namespace std. So, the first thing in C++ you always need to do, since this is not going out for production, I'm actually going to make sure that the window is being captured, and it seems like I need to go enough to actually make sure it's zoomed in. The first thing you always need to do is do int main. And because I am me, we will start off with a cout. Hello and welcome. I'm going to go hello, comma, and welcome to a mathematical demonstration. So I'm going to explain exactly why I used namespace, the standard namespace. It's not going out for production. It is not best practice to use the namespace, the standard namespace. Don't know why, it just is not. But since this is not going out for production, I do not care. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to create two integers. We're going to say subtractor 1. We're going to not set a value to any of these, so I think we can do subtractor 2. There's also another thing you need by default, and that is return 0. Okay, so then I'm going to open up a separate terminal. I'm going to ls, or I'm going to cd desktop. cd projects. cd C++. And then cd C. And then we will say G++ arith. What the is it? Math test. undefined reference to main. Did I save it? I did. What the fuck? Is it now? Hold on. Let me pull up the console. Include no such file or directory. Okay, so the include is not needed then. Okay, give me 1 second. I didn't know for sure if it was needed or not, so. Where's my console? There it is. Nope, that's the wrong one. That's the other one. God dang it. God damn it. Damn it! Okay. We got it. And then we're going to... Okay. So, the compilation actually allows you to do multiple variable declarations in one statement, as long as they are set to the same thing. Okay? My nose itches. Dang it. So we're kind of doing a nice little software drag race here. Or not a software drag race, but more of a let's see what C++ allows for and doesn't allow for. Okay, so we're going to say cin. We're going to say cout pick your favorite number. And I always end with that. You could also do endl, which looks a lot like this. Actually, I will do the cin first. Subtractor 1. Pick your second favorite number. And I believe you do this. And either way works. I do know that now we get to create a function, which I believe I have done it in the file, and I have done it in a separate functions file. Either way, I can always double check this. So int difference num1 num2. Oh, I have to put data types. Don't ever forget that in function declaration. Data types. Because it doesn't know what it's looking for. Return num2 num1. So another thing I'm going to do, if 1, I don't, minus num2 is less than 0, see out the difference is so then we would say this equals num minus num2. Because I'm doing this specifically this way, I know it would be reversed. So actually what you could do is this. If num2, or no, equal to num2 minus num1. It's going to bug me, because, and then we can change this line to say difference is less than 0. The difference is less than 0. And then we'll do an else to say oh, I almost forgot that. See out the difference is greater. Return difference. So then we do subtractor 1, subtractor 2. I'm going to create a different an int called math outcome. And then we're going to print it to the console. Again, I'm doing this drag race for fun. I don't really care. It gives me something to do. So one of the things that makes C++ stand out to me is the syntax. I've said that for years. So we're going to go C out. Math outcome. Is the difference alright. So then we need to get to the right console here. Is it this one? No. No, god damn it. Damn it! Stop! Stop, Q4. I want that one. Difference was not declared in this scope. Okay. So I may have the function in the wrong area. Function location, I don't know if it matters, but I'm going to change it so it does. Yeah, because it's saying, so basically what it's saying is difference is not there. Like this difference does not exist. So we'll go back into KWrite. We will then grab this. We will copy it. If I have to, I will create a header file specifically for this function, which doesn't necessarily always work. So we'll try that. We will recompile it. I'm going to need to shut down KWrite on the Rust side of things. I will paste the output of the... Yeah, that works. So then we'll do dot slash a dot out. We'll say our favorite number is 12. Oh, did I not do... your number is less than 0. Did I not do that? Hold on. Hold it. What the hell happened? Oh! Duh! CN. I am doing all kinds of silly stuff. CN subtractor 2. There we go. Now we need to recompile it. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. We'll say 12. Pick your second favorite number. 14. The difference is greater than 2. Or is greater than 0. Okay, let me try that again. So the first number we're going to say is 33, or we're going to say is 1. The second favorite number is 2. Difference is greater than 0. How did I set that goddamn function up? How did I do that? Come on, come on, come on. KWrite, stop. Difference, num2 minus num1. Okay, so we have to make it so... Yeah, that's how I set up difference, because my brain was like, wait a minute, how did I do the math? So the next thing we need to do, so we'll set this 55, or we'll set this to 10. Second favorite number is 55. Well, is... So if it's num2 minus num1, negative is 9. Yeah, that works. There is no arithmetic overflow. So this is the output I get. I'll actually do my favorite numbers. I had to look back because I'm like, did I set it up right? Yeah, you would do the bigger number minus the smaller number to get the proper math. So for those that want to see the output, it is pick a favorite number 10, second favorite number 9, because of the way I had to look at it again and be like, did I set that up right? And I did. There is no arithmetic overflow for that language, whereas in Rust there is arithmetic overflow. And that's the thing that got me the most. I'm gonna switch my OBS scene to the proper one, where that's the thing that gets me is like, okay, there is no arithmetic overflow. Why is there arithmetic overflow in Rust? Because there are things that if you're doing a basic calculator in Rust, you need to have that arithmetic overflow on, because zero, like, you need to be able to calculate less than zero. You know, because that's what was happening. So I don't know if that's something. I think that's something just in Rust. You could very easily create a calculator in Java, which I haven't done, but I have done a calculator, like a mileage calculator and an income calculator in C Sharp and C++, or like, I think it's either C Sharp or C++. I think it was C++. I can go look at my GitHub and see what is there. GitHub. I want to go to some of my repositories. God, this is such an old repository. PD1, source code, Linux Game Jam, Maze Escape, CPP Calc Test. Here's the CPP Calc Test repo. I don't think is it public? Yes, it is. So for those that want to actually like go look at that, that is out there. You just need to look for my GitHub. There's a lot of stuff on here from me. Like in the last month or so, I've been relatively busy. The graphical guessing game, I know there was a calculator somewhere on here. I remember this because, yeah, graphical income calculators on here, text adventure. Income calculators on there is a public repo as well. So I have done a lot of programming in C Sharp and Java. Wait, what's this? The full project. There is no way. What did I do to screw that up? Because there is no game. Really, that's interesting. I'll have to look into that project. Sorry, I just ended up looking at my GitHub and being like, what did I do here? Because I'm guessing that test projects soon became Maze Escape. Um, so I was going to do a DH Boss Rush game like a year ago, and I probably should. I'm gonna do it in a text adventure style because that'd be kind of fun. But I want to finish Maze Escape and then the other text adventure. But yeah, no. Looking back at that, I'm like, I did that thing, and I want to just go back and work on it. I don't think I have the files for that project anymore, since I I don't know. I don't think I do. Damn it. I should have kept that because I was like super excited. I think I had it part of the way completed, but I would have like 10 or so different bosses that would have been in the games. So I think one of them was a chimera. It was strange because like I didn't get like I was working on it, but I didn't have it all fleshed out. I probably should have. Um, but no, going back to Rust though, like with that arithmetic overflow, you would need to calculate that stuff if you're going to do a calculator in Rust, which I have thought about doing. But you also need to take in input, which I'm not sure how to do yet. So, the math test CPP was a resounding success. And I will say, I'm gonna keep that folder, and I might just do a bunch of the same thing to see if I get an error similar to what I did with the Rust calculator. So I'm not sure if that is the case or what, because I'm not sure. Uh, I don't think that's the case for all languages where you have to deal with uh, the arithmetic overflow at all. So that's definitely an interesting thing. I think we're gonna go probably until about 8:30 if no one joins, because it's just me tonight. But again, for people saying, "Well, you're a CS major," I missed the very little things that wouldn't have been a thing in other languages, like the Mac or like the exclamation point by the print line function, or the fact that I had the two numbers mixed up before the podcast. Um, because I've proven in like C++ that wouldn't matter. And yeah, I did miss some pretty major things in C++. But at the same time, people are like, well, why don't you put your function declarations in the header, in a header file? If it's just going to be one function, it's not going to matter to me. It's not going out for production anyway. Like, go look at code that I have put into production. Like, I have put in production projects. I don't use as like the standard namespace. I type it out. Um, Heck, if I actually go pull up the Linux native Game Jam folder, we want the Linux native. I need to go back a few months. I need the Linux native Game Jam. Started, cleaned up, start of game. I've got character.h, game.cpp, playertools.cpp, playertools.h, and functions.h. What did I change? Oh yeah, that's right. I ended up like changing all that because I started like trying to actually make progress on uh, the game. But as you can see, like I'm looking at this and it's like, okay, add the weapon name. That was a comment. Uh, I did pragma once, include string, because literally I worked on this. I'm like, okay, we're gonna get all of this out. We're gonna have these as functions. Because there's like 115 lines of code uh, in that file, and a lot of it is cleaning up the input from the some of it is line 102 to line 115 is actually the cleanup of like the sanitization of input. so that was definitely something interesting. Is like I remember that experience because I submitted it to the Linux native game jam, and they're like, "Oh, serialize or sanitize your inputs," and they have a point. So the only time I've had to really sanitize an input is dealing with uh, I would say basically they want you to do validation. I wouldn't even call it sanitization. I wouldn't even call it sanitizing. I would call it validation of your input. Um, but I could see sanitizing your inputs. The only time I've had to do that is when working with databases. That is the one time that I've worked with it is when we're working with databases because making sure your input is like making sure that nothing can like no breaches in your database like it can't be taken advantage of, it can't be exploited so that the user or bad actor could get access to your database. That's important. And it's weird because basically what this is what they asked was validation of inputs, and I completely understand. Um, Man, I'm also tired, so we might end up getting off at about 8:15 here. So I don't know. We'll go for hopefully another 10-15 minutes. Doesn't seem like anyone else is joining. I do want to like get into some cooler clothes, maybe go take a bath. So I will probably just end it now. Uh, so we will talk to you guys later. Bye bye. Bye.